If I am ever in a situation where I am forced to look at myself using my own eyeball, just bleh. Here are my immediate thoughts on the season 1 finale of Dune Prophecy. Hey everyone, this is Lenny here. We are just going to get into the season 1 finale of Dune Prophecy. This episode was titled The Hidden Hand, and this episode was a lot. Literally, an hour and 20 minutes worth of episodes, so let's not waste any more time. Last episode, Tula discovered that Desmond Hart is her son from her and Ori Atreides. Lila returned from the agony but was possessed and taken over by Mother Superior Rakella. Kieran Atreides was arrested for his role in trying to blow up the Landsraad. While Princess Ines questioned her loyalty to her family, poor Emperor Corrino could not keep his dick away from his Bene Gesserit lover Francesca, and that made his jealous mad wife Natalia forge an alliance in the bedsheets with Desmond Hart, while Valya all through this just sits and waits in the background. Now, before we move any further, just as a reminder, this is a spoiler review and recap. So unless you've already seen the season 1 finale of Dune Prophecy, I suggest for you to go back, watch that, and come back here because, child, we got a lot of shit to talk about. First, I want to express, much like House of the Dragon also on HBO Max, how impressed I am with the younger cast of Dune Prophecy, particularly Jessica Barden and Emma Canning as young Tula and Valya. But it has also been great piecing together just how integral Kasha and Francesca were to everything that happens with the sisterhood and how it all crumbles. The episode opens with the death of Sister Dorothea by way of the voice that is used by Valya, but we are seeing this from Tula's perspective. And Tula and Kasha and Francesca all arrive, and we see between the four of them, it is truly sisterhood above all. And we are about to see precisely what that means in absolute gruesome fashion. Tula learns more about how Desmond Hart is immolating people with his mind. He is using a machine-made virus that really, in theory, the Bene Gesserit should be able to transmutate and find a cure, similar to how they use the water of life on Wallach 9. Of course, it takes another sister from the sisterhood to die for this discovery, and then Tula decides that she is going to head over to Saluna Secundus to meet up with her long-lost son. Without Tula around, the sisterhood descends into chaos. Lila once again wakes up from the agony and convinces Jen to loosen her restraints, and when you saw that look, you knew that was Sister Dorothea possessing her. And Lila breaks out and things just get wild. So in the Dune universe, when someone is possessed by the consciousness of one of their ancestors, it's actually called an abomination, and it is actually banned by the time of Paul Atreides, and we sort of see why here. After Lila, as Dorothea escapes, she goes all Art the Clown on the secret breeding program, and she drains the water in the sisterhood, and it just reveals all of these skeletal remains, and we find out that goddamn Valya, Tula, Kasha, and Francesca went ham on some of the original followers of the sisterhood, those especially that followed Sister Dorothea. And speaking of the younger actors in Dune Prophecy, Chloe Leah is the MVP in my opinion. She played 3 completely distinct personalities, each one more sinister than the last, and she was just outstanding. And yeah, that whole moment where younger Tula, Valya, Kasha, and Francesca is telling all of the sisterhood to choose in the Cone of Silence while they just all basically unalive themselves was wild. Over on Saluna Secundus, Ines' attempts to free Kieran Atreides from prison is thwarted by her own mother, and I'm like, what did you expect? What I didn't expect was Natalia to outright arrest her own daughter, and that upsets Emperor Corrino to no end. But Natalia gives no fucks, and with the power of the pussy, gets Desmond Hart to turn on Emperor Carino, and we get the first real dress down of Emperor Carino and discover that this dude is not as powerful as he thinks he is. So Carino, poor little bitch, is in a bit of a bind, and he makes a play at Valya to have her back as an ally, and she's like, nah, fuck you, I'm done with you as well. And she sits on the Imperial throne, and the dress down she gives of Carino is absolutely brutal. And she dresses him down to his cuck soul, telling Carino to his face that he is a weak, replaceable, interchangeable, fickle, weak man who the Bene Gesserit has been manipulating basically from the time he was born. And Emily Watson's sass in this scene is delicious. Carino arrests Valya as she planned, and she uses this attempt to free Princess Inez in a pretty awesome moment where she uses the voice to help her out. The plan is to leave Sister Theodosia, who is a face dancer, in Inez's place, and they are going to escape together, but that is all complicated when Inez is like, nah, we're taking Kieran Atreides with us. Meanwhile, Valya has ordered Sister Francesca to kill Emperor Carino, which she does not want to do. And the scene between Taboo and Mark Strong is really heartbreaking because we see Francesca try to assert her love to a man who was literally just told moments ago that his entire life, including the woman that he loves, was all just a manipulation. And poor Haviko does exactly what is expected of him and unalives himself, basically bringing respite for a man who never really had any agency in his life. And then Natalia creeps up from behind and gets Francesca with the poison dart that Valya gave her and kills Francesca. Man, Natalia is foul like a penguin. HBO Max, you guys got some real villains going on. Inez and Kieran have a scene where they are fighting guards, and I'm sort of wondering where Inez falls on the board now that she is murdering people. I'm also interested in Theodosia's fate as she was left behind. She stabbed Desmond in the gut with a knife and she was arrested, so her fate is actually still up in the air. But then we get this finale of this finale. Valya has led Kieran and Inez to safety, and she confronts Desmond, and she uses the voice once again to use these guards against each other to defend herself, and it's honestly pretty badass. The voice is a superpower I honestly wouldn't mind having. Valya, in full boss bitch mode, dares Desmond to use his power on her, which she does, and it's visualized really well as her greatest fear because that is how this virus works. It preys on fear, and Valya's greatest fear is the death of her brother Griffin and all the misery that has followed the Harkonnen family since then, and Valya's belief that she is the cause of all of the misery of her family. In a bit of a parallel visual, Tula arrives to Seleucus Secundus to help Valya get through the ordeal, similar to when they were younger and Valya had to use the agony on herself. That whole moment was actually pretty boss visually, with young Valya on the ice and the snowstorm sort of taking this form of this black cloud that we did see in the original scene with Tula and the one sister who did try to transmutate the virus. It was a really cool parallel visual with that scene. Tula's advice to Valya is to let the fear pass her because, again, fear is the mind killer. Also, talk about turning an inner eye to see its own path, as Valya is able to get a glimpse into Desmond Hart's past and what has happened to him. Apparently, someone has used a thinking machine to implant the virus in Desmond Hart, and that whole scene where they use his eye to look at himself was gnarly. So Valya determines that she must cut Desmond's eye out, and in another great parallel to the first episode, Tula uses the voice on her own sister, pausing her, and Tula reveals the truth. She switched out a newborn, stillborn baby for Desmond Hart because she did not want Desmond to be manipulated by Valya, and even worse, Tula knew that she would just simply sit back and let it happen. Emily Watson and Olivia Williams are peak fucking actors, and this actually throws in a new wrinkle between these two sisters, and I really hope that in season 2 we get more scenes between these two great actors together. While Valya joins Inez and Karen on their trip off-world, Tula stays behind with her heartbroken son, who has just heard everything, and they share a really tender and emotional hug and moment. But yeah, Desmond can't let this fly. He arrests his mother, and I am really intrigued to see where this is going to lead into season 2. And we end with Valya, Inez, and Karen arriving on Arrakis, where they are told their journey is literally just beginning. And we have our setup into next season, as we have the mystery of who is the one setting Desmond Hart up to kill off the sisterhood and why. While I believe Natalia will rule on Seleucus Secundus, I don't know how long that time is going to last, because she has a stepson who is going to be pissed that his dad is dead, pissed that his sister was arrested, and pissed that his mother was murdered. Also, I am pretty sure that Tula's and Desmond's relationship as mother and son is going to grow, and that is going to blow up a lot of Natalia's plans. And on Wallach 9, Lila is just going to blow shit up. But this was a blockbuster episode for me, and overall, I would give Dune Prophecy a blockbuster for season 1. I am just a nerd of this universe. I love the look of this show. I love them exploring all the deeper lore of Frank Herbert and his son's books in the Duneverse. I love all the acting from Olivia Williams and Emily Watson and Mark Strong and Jodie May and Travis Fimmel. Everyone in this show brought their A game, and I am excited for season 2. What did you think of the season 1 finale of Dune Prophecy? And what did you think of season 1 in general? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.